Good morning, Patriots.
Good morning.
Welcome to the 307th consecutive Friday meeting of the East Valley Red Friday Patriots. You know, it's really great to have such a rambunctious group of Patriots join shoulder to shoulder and honor America's deployed warfighters. Thank you for your presence here today. You know, personally, I can't think of anywhere else that I would want to be on a Friday morning than with this group of people. That's an exaggeration. So, speaking for those 228,000 deployed service members representing America's interests abroad, thank you for your attendance and for your support. Before we get underway, did everyone get a raffle ticket this morning? Did everyone get a raffle ticket? We've got a need for a raffle ticket over here. Out of 85 in attendance, we only had one that didn't get a raffle ticket. That's pretty good. We want to make sure that everybody has a raffle ticket because our guest speakers today from CAPTEL are sponsoring a raffle drawing. So, by the way, may I see the hands of those of you who wore purple last Tuesday, April 15? That was Purple Up Day, honoring military children. Well, here's a photo of the Cinco Amigos of Las Palmas Grand, honoring our military kids. And actually, there were not 5, but 4.5 amigos because Les Jones' shirt was only half-ass purple. But he did his best with what he had. So I want to ask you folks a question. Have you ever encountered someone and thought maybe, just maybe, that their cornbread ain't quite done in the middle? Well, I think most of us have met a few of those folks along the way and were rather bewildered by those encounters. So let me share with you a few of my more memorable interfaces with some of those folks. You know, I generally don't eat breakfast before our R.E.D meetings. However, I do pay for breakfast, but I don't eat before I speak. So last Friday, after our Red Friday meeting, Hank and I went through the McDonald's drive-through window just down the street from our home, and I ordered a bagel breakfast sandwich to take home. The price was $4.25. Well, I pulled up to the window and gave the young cashier a $5 bill and a quarter. She said, "You gave me too much money." I said, "Yeah, I know, but this way you can just give me $1 back." She had this strange, puzzled look on her face, and she said, "Just 1 minute." She went to get her manager. Manager came up to the window and asked me to repeat the request. Well, I repeated it. He handed me back the 25 cents and said, "We're sorry, but we don't do that kind of thing." The cashier then proceeded to give me back 75 cents in change. Folks, I implore you, do not confuse these people at McDonald's. Then there was this other strange encounter that I had recently. We had to have our garage door repaired, and the repairman told us that one of our problems was that we didn't have a large enough motor on the garage door opener. Well, I thought for a minute and said, we had the largest one made at the time we bought it, which was a 1/2 horsepower motor. He shook his head, said, "You need a 1/4 horsepower motor." I said, You know, I think that a half horsepower is larger than a quarter horsepower, and he said, no, it's not. 4 is larger than 2. Well, you guessed it. We've never had that repairman back again. Now, if that was not enough for me to question my confidence in the human race, this occurred. My daughter and son-in-law from Austin, Texas were visiting us, and we all went out to a redneck Mexican fast food restaurant. And my daughter ordered a couple of tacos, and she asked the person behind the counter for minimal lettuce. He said he was sorry, but they only had iceberg lettuce. You can't make this stuff up. And to cap off my occasional concern about human intelligence, Hank dropped me off at our car dealership to pick up our car after a 40,000-mile service. And I walked over to my service writer, and he told me that the keys, unfortunately, had been locked in my car. So we walked out to the service department. He found the mechanic working feverishly to unlock the driver's side on my car. And as I stood there and watched the technician from the passenger side of the car, I instinctively tried the passenger side door handle and discovered that it was unlocked. I looked over at the technician and I said, "Hey, it's open." He said, "I know, I already did that side." Folks, you got to stay alert. They walk among us and they breed. Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We do have a few guests that I would like to introduce this morning. Suzanne Ryan. Suzanne, will you stand, please? Suzanne is coming here as a member of the Daughters of the American Revolution, and that is the Apache Trail chapter. And we are absolutely elated to have you join us. We'll get you squared away on that mic here in just a second.
Thank you.
All right. So I'm just curious, Suzanne, what brought you here? Who recommended you come here?
My chapter. I
Who
live
in
in
your
Tucson.
chapter? I'm trying to give a gold star to whoever the recommender was.
Well, so Dick was a speaker at one of our chapter meetings, and prior to the meeting, I don't know if you know this, they all kept telling me, you have to meet each other. You have to meet each other, because I do a lot of work with World War II veterans, a lot, and also Vietnam veterans. And so I take them over to Normandy on tours to take them back to the battlefields they fought. And then my son and I last year produced a documentary of Vietnam veterans telling their stories. So they just kept telling me how much I had to meet you. So that's why I came. And
thank you for joining us today.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you're doing for our veteran community.
Well, it's nothing compared to what they've done for us.
So very true.
Yeah.
Thank you. Also, Keith Johnson. Keith, where are you? Keith is sitting right here. Keith is coming in and getting, I'm sure, the one or two last meeting possibilities before you head back to Minnesota. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You're a Las Palmas
I'm leaving
Grant?
Wednesday morning.
Well, we're going to have you at least for this week, and we certainly hope that you'll join us when you return. Now, you're neighbors with Mike Scandrett over here, yes? All these guys?
I came with Larry Smith this morning.
Oh my God! Oh Lord! If you would like, I can drive you back home. I have my car here. Glad to have you with us, Keith. Thank you.
Thank you.
By the way, Keith is a United States Army vet. He served 1966 to 72, 11 Bravo 10. You were infantry. Thank you for your service. And Dennis O'Grady. Dennis, where are you? Dennis, this is your second visit with us. Is that not correct? Or is this your first?
What did he say?
It's your second visit.
Yes, this is my second visit. I was here on Monday and I ran into you.
No, this is your first visit here for this Red Friday. That's right. I met you here when I was taking care of some business here Monday.
Yes, I know, and you told me I had to join this club before I could join the American Legion.
Dennis, I hope they did not pick up that on this recording of it. Dennis is a U.S. Army vet, 66 to 79. Thank you for your service and thank you for joining us today. And Marie Metka. Marie, where are you? Marie is sitting right back here, and Marie is a Palm Gardens resident and full-time here in Arizona. This is your first time visit, so we can anticipate that you're going to be joining us throughout the summer months, correct?
Well, actually, I am a 7-month resident. I didn't know if I could put that on that form because I am with Jack Lyon, and he is taking me back to Wisconsin next Friday
Well,
for the summer.
you'll be coming back in the fall, and we look
Yes.
forward to having you back with us.
Lord willing.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It was wonderful.
Thank you.
Kenneth Bigelow, is that correct? Kenneth, where are you? Okay, Kenneth, you are a Las Palmas Grand resident as well, and Mike Scandreth, the gentleman sitting right across from you, I'm sure is your sponsor, and finally was able to get you out and join us. We're so glad to have you with us. Thank you, and we certainly hope that you'll join us again.
Thank you.
Take care, sir. Also, over here is Anthony Thompson. Anthony is a representative with CAPTEL who will be doing a presentation for us this morning. He is also a United States Air Force veteran. He was a jet engine mechanic. He served 2003 through 4. Glad to have you with us today for sure. And his counterpart there is Leroy Cook, also with CAPTEL. And Leroy is a United States Army Reserve veteran who served 56 through 62. Glad to have you guys with us. We're looking forward to your presentation. May I have a hoo-ah for our guests? Hoo-ah! Thank you. May I see the hands of those of you who served in the United States Army Reserve, regardless of whether it was the Ready Reserve, Standby Reserve, or Retired Reserve? May I see the hands? Anybody who served in the Army Reserve, if you served 3 years on active duty, you went into a reserve component afterward. Excellent, excellent. So, do any of you Army Reservists happen to know the significance of the date 23 April? Well, on 23 April 1908, Congress organized what was originally called the Medical Reserve Corps. You skip forward more than a century, and today the United States Army Reserve, headquartered at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, celebrates its 117th birthday next Wednesday on April 23. There's no denying that the Army Reserve has played a very, very significant role in American military history. In fact, the Army Reserve has made significant contributions to 2 world wars, the Cold War, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the Persian Gulf War, Afghanistan, and many, many other missions during their 117 years of existence. Today, there are Army Reserve communities located in every state in the Union, plus the District of Columbia, Guam, American Samoa, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, and our Army Reserve soldiers are currently deployed to 23 countries around the world. Today, the United States Army Reserve's 189,000 troops continue to rotate through active duty mobilizations and monthly training, and they continue to play an important part in national defense, humanitarian outreach, nation building, and combat support operations. It's interesting to note that currently the Army Reserve represents 20% of the U.S. Army's organizational units, and it provides nearly half of the Army's total maneuver support. Plus, they provide significant Army mobilization and expansion capability. Without question, the Army Reserve is a critical enabler of joint and multinational forces. And these capabilities expand the reach of the joint force, and they increase the Army's expeditionary campaigning capabilities. No doubt the Reserve is truly an invaluable component of the United States Army and will continue to play an important role in our national defense. I think our United States Army Reserve Force deserves a resounding battle cry. Is there a hoo-ah out there? Hoo-ah! Thank you. I want to ask you to take a journey with me to a time not so long ago when America was at war and literally fighting for the survival of this nation and its allies. During World War II, a significant portion of the American population was involved in the war effort, both on and off the battlefield. Approximately 16 million Americans served in uniform, and an estimated 10 million Americans volunteered in various civilian roles, including civil defense, home front support, and other war-related activities. Here at home, more American factories were converted to support the war effort during World War II than during any other war. This conversion was essential for mobilizing the United States economy and for providing the necessary materials and equipment for the war effort. It's estimated that 17 million new civilian jobs were created during that period, a significant boost in the workforce, while millions more transitioned to wartime production, demonstrating the country's significant shift from peacetime industries to a war-focused economy. The war effort mobilized the nation, requiring a wide range of support from its citizens, including those in factories, at home, and in the military. You might be surprised to learn of one somewhat small company of world acclaim that converted its production to support that war. Here to share this most interesting story is Karen Confederik, a distinguished Red Friday supporter and member of the Apache Trail Chapter, National Society Daughters of the American Revolution. Please welcome Karen Confederik.
Have you heard the phrase, the beatings will continue until morale improves? Didn't it seem at times like this was the military's motto? Think back for a moment. Is that okay? Have you encountered poor leadership and felt like we, the unwilling, are being led by the unknowing? I suspect that feeling is not a big motivator or good for morale. How about the hurry up and wait mentality? The military is famous for that image. Did poor communication dampen the deployment of not knowing where or why you were going there in the first place? Did you have enough equipment? And if so, did it even work correctly? Some things can severely dampen and damage troop morale, making for an apathetic and ineffective set of soldiers. But the military recognizes this and tries to boost morale to keep soldiers happy and willing to do the job they are asked and tasked to do. Payday activities in which you were given time off to tend to personal things such as banking and shopping or the proverbial R&R. Team building activities like softball games and playing war ball reinforced teamwork, fostered a sense of belonging. Recognizing achievements with awards and promotion presented in formation demonstrates value of each soldier's work. Creature comforts, such as a warm meal, a Coke, receiving mail, or having a beer back at the fire base, or having a warm poncho and poncho liner to wrap yourself in those long, cold nights in the field increase well-being. There's not much that can be done in a war zone to boost morale. In large-scale landmass warfare, the struggle was to keep morale, let alone raise it. Just like the saying, happy wife, happy life is true, right, Hank? Ted? The military recognized that soldiers needed morale boosters to counterbalance all the internal and external morale busters that were either self-inflicted or mostly unavoidable. One of the most ingenious ways the military boosted morale in World War II was by creating the Victory vertical pianos, otherwise known as Victory upright or GI field pianos. Steinway & Sons, New York, manufactured the Victory vertical pianos for the U.S. War Department during World War II. Late in 1941, Theodore E. Steinway, the company's fourth president, received a request from the government's War Production Board for heavy-duty military pianos. Theodore had 4 sons serving in the military, along with several of their cousins, and he recognized music's potential for boosting troop morale. The video you are about to see tells the story of the genesis of the Victory vertical pianos and the efforts that went into designing, manufacturing, transporting the wonderful morale boosters that soldiers desperately needed in the lonely, frightening, and dangerous theaters of World War II. So, Victory pianos. Oops, I just touched it. There we go. Sorry, let me find where I was. Here we go. Victory pianos were shipped to every theater of war, including Africa, Asia, Australia, Canada, Europe, Hawaii, New Guinea, the Pacific, the Philippines, and the USA. A grand total of 2,436 Victory pianos were produced for the military in correspondingly appropriate military colors. 2,281 olive drabs for the Army, 50 gray for the Navy, 44 blue-green for the Marines, 38 blue for the Army Air Corps, 12 ebonized for officers and staff, and 11 azure blue for the Coast Guard. So, will the beatings continue until morale improves? The military's ingenious idea of parachuting pianos into combat zones in World War II certainly shows that they take troop morale seriously. Happy wife, happy life doesn't just apply to marital bliss.
Is that true, Hank? Stand by 1 second. Karen, thank you for sharing a very enlightening story. You know, there were a variety of programs and services that were delivered to America's warfighters during World War II to boost morale. And the story you have shared is but one of many. One thing is for certain: music is known to significantly impact mental and physical health. And if there was ever a time when music was of importance, both here at home and on the battlefields of Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Pacific, it would have been in that World War II era. To Steinway and Company, America extends our sincere thanks for supporting our troops in those difficult years. And Karen, we would like to take this opportunity to present to you a certificate of appreciation and welcoming you to the Order of the Ivory Keys.
Oh.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much, sir. Excellent presentation.
Thank you, Dick. Thanks for having us. And thank you, everybody, for your service. And breakfast was amazing. Thank you. That was awesome. So I'm going to try and be brief, but I do have a lot of ground to cover here. So first of all, how many of you here are wearing hearing aids? Okay, raise your hand. How many of you here should be wearing hearing aids? Or how many of you here have paid $5,000 for a pair of hearing aids and they're in your drawer somewhere? So a lot of times people with hearing loss don't realize that they have hearing loss when they're in a small setting with a small amount of people face to face. But what I'm here to talk about is people who have a hard time hearing, specifically on the phone. So I want to start out by clearing up a couple of the common misconceptions before I get into all the features on the phone and how it can help you. So number one, there is no charge for the phone. And I know you guys are a tough crowd and you're going to say, everybody's going to say nothing is free. And technically you're right. It is not free, but you have already paid for it with your taxes. So there is no additional charge for the phone. This is federally funded. There is no monthly charge, and it will not increase your phone or your internet bills. We are in all 50 states. We are manufactured in America. We have 24-hour customer service with employees that work here in America. The second misconception is that only people with a landline can use this phone. That's not true. That was true in the past. However, all you need to get the phone is to be American, have hearing loss, and have the internet. If you have a landline and you have other phones in your home, we will just add this phone to the service you have right now that you're currently using. But if you don't have a landline, we can provide you with a phone number that's connected to the phone that you can make local and long-distance phone calls on. And the phone is geographically located with the emergency services, and what that means is you can take the phone anywhere in the United States, and if you had an emergency, 911 would be able to locate you. Another misconception is that this phone is difficult to use. Everything on this phone is labeled on the screen and also on the main base of the phone. Everything is larger than a cell phone, so if you have a hard time operating your cell phone, you'll find this a lot easier to use, this phone. And Leroy, he just joined our team. He actually uses the phone, so he can attest to how user-friendly our interface is, and how much it's helped improve his communications over the phone. So if you want to come over to our table in the back, take a closer look, kind of play with the demo. I can answer any questions you have. And you can ask Leroy how his experience has been. I've been doing this for a few years now, and I know that a lot of people who have hearing aids have them connected to their cell phones, and I'm sure that works that works really well when you're out of the house. But what happens when your hearing aids are in the shop getting repaired, or if your cell phone isn't charged, or maybe you've accidentally put yourself into airplane mode, or maybe your cell tower is down? What CAPTEL does is provide another option as an emergency backup to the cell phone you're using. On top of that, CAPTEL has many features that your cell phone doesn't have. So first of all, the caption phone is 4 times as loud as a normal regular phone. That's not just the ringer, that's the audio. It has a built-in speakerphone for conference calls. It has a built-in answering machine. And now, the way the phone works is when you're on the phone with somebody, everything they're saying to you is going to come up on the screen. So you also have the ability to pause that conversation while you're on the phone with somebody in case you miss something and need to reference something earlier in the conversation. Once you hang up with that caller, our phone gives you the ability to go back days, months, weeks, perhaps later, and see everything that person said. So now what this means for you is if the doctor calls today and reschedules you for sometime next week, your surgery's going on, and next week comes and nobody remembers the date or the time or any of the details, you can actually find that phone call with your doctor, and everything your doctor said will be saved for you. Your cell phone can't do that. Same with the answering machine. How many of you have given up on your answering machine or voicemail because you can't hear the menu prompts clearly, and now your mailbox is full and nobody can leave you a message anymore? Now, when somebody leaves you a message on the CAPTEL, instead of you having to play it over and over again to try and listen to a message, a phone number that somebody has rattled off too fast, or maybe they have an accent, all of that is going to be printed on the screen clearly for you to see. And you can make the font bigger, you can change the tone or the pitch, because sometimes it's not the volume, it's the tone or the pitch of somebody's voice that makes it hard to hear. This phone has a built-in speaker. You can program 100 contacts, 10 favorites, and 4 speed dials. When you get this phone, I'll help you program everything into it. Like I said, I've been doing this for a few years now, and so I'm not just going to drop it off. I'll be there to test it out with you. We'll go over all the basic functions. I'll show you how to use your answering machine, and I'll help you program some contacts in there. And we'll go over the call history, and you guys will be professionals. Thank you, guys. Yeah, that was the phone. Dick, thank you. Yeah.
I have a couple of questions for you,
Okay,
Anthony.
certainly.
First of all, the process of being able to request one of these phones is application.
It's remarkably easy,
Okay,
as a
but
matter of fact.
a simple application.
Yeah, you just name, address, and phone number, and then we look to schedule a
you need not
time.
be a veteran.
You
You
need not
only
be a
need to
veteran.
be an American citizen.
That's correct.
And there is absolutely no charge
None
either
whatsoever.
for the unit or for the service.
None whatsoever.
And if you have a internet access at your home, most of us have given up on landlines, I'm sure. I did long ago. But whether you have a landline or if you have a internet access at your home, this phone can be employed.
Yes, all you need is the internet.
So if you have a hearing issue and you want something that's really free, you need to jump on this. I would encourage you to at least explore it. We want to thank you very much for the presentation and advising us of what the only free thing I've ever learned about in my entire life might be, and present you with this American flag, Patriot flag, and appreciation for your coming here and visiting with us today.
Wow. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dick. Thanks for having us. Yeah. Oh, me as well. I get one too?
Yes.
Okay.
Hang on. Got it?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Got it? Superb. Thank you, gentlemen. Do appreciate it.
Thank you.
We do have a guest speaker scheduled for next week as part of the announcements. We do have a speaker scheduled for next week, and I think that this will be a speaker that you definitely would want to be present to hear. Yeah. Also, I do want to remind you again, Memorial Day is just right around the corner, May 26th, only a few weeks away. So I'm sure that you're already planning to attend a ceremony either in your own community or possibly elsewhere. If you have no plans for a Memorial Day ceremony, see me afterwards and I'll be happy to put you on to a Memorial Day service that I will be presenting at. That's probably a turnoff for most of you that are here, the very fact that I'm going to be presenting there, but we'd love to have you if you have no concrete plans for Memorial Day. Also, I do want to throw this out. I've mentioned this on numerous occasions, and that is we have a number of Marine Corps League members that are actively involved with our Red Friday program. If you have knowledge of an individual that is currently serving in a deployed status, please get the name to a Marine Corps League representative, because they will be putting together support packages, care packages for that individual's entire section and sending it out to them at no charge whatsoever, and they do it very promptly. All we need is the name. Don, where are you? Don is right back here. Don is a member of the Marine Corps League. Do we have any other members of the Marine Corps League here today? Right over here. See these guys, give them a name, and if you perchance do not know of an individual, regardless of branch of service, if you do not know of an individual that's deployed, but you may have friends that have a son, daughter, granddaughter, cousin, nephew deployed, get with these guys. It's a wonderful program that they have, and I strongly endorse the Marine Corps League. Also, where's Larry? Right here. Larry has an announcement that he would like to make, and I would really appreciate it if we have some response to this particular announcement.
First of all, I want everybody to turn around and look at my crew back here. I have Nita, who is with the DAR. She's on the camera. And my good friend Fred is back there running audio for us. And folks, I've been doing this for 40 years, I don't know, whatever. These folks just started last year, and if it wasn't for their dedication, we would not have a YouTube channel. Okay, it takes a lot. They come in early, they stay late, they do all this, but we're really hurting looking for volunteers. Most of you know I try to be here as often as I can, but my health just does not allow me to be here every Friday. So we're asking for anybody who would even think, even if you say, you know, Larry, I'll do it once a month, I'll do it once every 2 months, I'll take you, I will train you. It's not hard, it's not difficult, even if you've never run a camera, or even if you want to add your own camera and you did your travel logs back in the day. We're looking for anybody who would be interested to help. I can teach you the audio that Fred's doing, or I can teach you to run the camera, what Nita is doing. But here's my big deal. Raise your hand if you started back in IHOP. Who remembers IHOP? Where's my IHOP people? We really had, because we had a smaller group, Dick would come in with some really, really funny presentations, and we had a lot of fun, which was awesome. But to see where we are today, we have the DAR, we have the Vietnam veterans, we have the VA. We are putting out content out right now that is affecting people's lives. I personally think that every speaker that comes in here is important. And I'm not here to shoot it. And Nita can't be here all the time to shoot. So please, come back and see me. Even if you just have an inkling, maybe yes or no, come back and talk to me. Let me scare you away. I mean, let me bring you in, and we could just really use some help. Well, depending on how many people come, I will do a training session. You can ask them. To be a videographer takes months and years to learn, but I can give you the basics to be able to do our weekly presentation. And even if I'm not here, Fred and Nita give me the video and I edit it over the weekend. So anyway, thanks, Dick.
This has become a important tool for our program in outreach to our winter visitors who want to stay in touch with what's going on with our Red Friday program, and also sharing some of these recorded meetings with folks who have relatives that are currently serving our nation. You do not need to have a master's degree in order to learn what Larry will teach you to facilitate recordation of these meetings. So I hope that we have some folks that are interested. Hey, take the opportunity to expand your knowledge on a totally new potential hobby. Who knows? Who knows? I do want to take this moment and give a shout out to Larry, Nita, and Fred, and we sincerely appreciate what you do for us in setting up, recording, and dismantling every week. Thank you very, very much. To our guests, thank you for joining us today. We sincerely hope that you will return again. To Leroy and Anthony, thank you for sharing with us today. They will be right back here at this table. As a final reminder, let's not overlook the importance of our mission to keep our deployed warriors in our thoughts and prayers, and continue to demonstrate our support for these fine men and women. Enjoy your weekend.